So Chelsea, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Chelsea. My Instagram name is Chelsea Dalsey. I'm a multimedia artist from Philadelphia, and I enjoy body painting.
I'm Abby. I am also a multidisciplinary artist. I am a model, a photographer, a coach, and a body painter, which is what we're gonna talk about the most today.
So I am what I like to call a body-centric artist. A lot of my work has the common theme of trying to relate being a human being in a body, which I think is an inherently really weird and complex experience. So a lot of the mediums that I use are kind of to help celebrate and explore and enjoy the relationship between being a consciousness in a body on this planet. Body painting for me was a really important part of me finding love for my body after having some traumatic experiences surrounding my body growing up, and I enjoyed it very much. I would do it to myself at concerts, at festivals, any chance that I could get, and I would share it with other people. And in the past couple of years, I've actually taken it into a more professional part of my art making and sharing it with other people that way.
I started to discover body painting honestly from being, I was already interested in healing arts, and I was interested in writing and journaling and painting on canvases and taking photos. And then I ended up finding just a body painting kit, and at first it was like something that I really kept to myself, and an art form that I kept to myself that slowly got bigger and bigger and has now turned into something I share with others, and I get to help other people heal through this body painting the same way it has helped me heal in ways of like loving myself, loving my body, being open and true to self-expression. I've been through the creative journey myself, and I've known how much that has helped me, and I like to take people on their own creative journey through creativity coaching, and that just kind of means we get together and slowly but surely discover what the highest form of their self-expression is. And for me, that has been body painting, and like just reaching that ultimate level of liberation and freedom and self-acceptance and loving myself and being comfortable in my own skin. We like can slowly uncover like what is true for that person.
So I think that a lot of the experiences in our society, the way it is today, kind of encourage dissociating from the body, leaving body, going into your head and going somewhere else, distracting yourself from being present in the moment. And body painting and a lot of the other things that I like to do, like music and dance, those are things that drag you back into this present moment, and they drag you into your body so that you're experiencing being here now. And I think that that's something that our culture has lost over the course of, all this modernization and technical advancement. The downside is that we know less and less what it's like just to be a human simply existing in our bodies. And I think that body painting harkens back to ancient cultures where body adornment was a part of existing. It was a way of celebrating rites of passage. It was a way of, coming of age. It was a way of experiencing community and resonating with your fellow person, the same way that music resonates with your body, and dance is a way of resonating with music and the people around you and your environment. I think that all these things are connected, and they make it a little bit easier to go through this very weird experience of being a human being on this planet.
It is a very ancient thing, but we are kind of in a position where it feels like we have to like educate people about body painting and what body painting is. But in reality, it's something that came from us from the beginning of time, just as music and dance and all of the other art forms has come to us. So it's not something that is new, although it feels very new. And I think a lot of people can view it as scary or, weird, but really it's just another way to just be ourselves and be a part of like who we are in humanity and bring us back to that humanity and like who we are and how we exist in the world and how we want to exist in the world. Oftentimes with my clients when I'm body painting them and with myself, I hear that phrase, wearing our soul on our skin, because that is just, there's no other way to put it sometimes, where it's just like exactly who you are and who you want to be in a way that there's just no other way than body painting sometimes, when you just want to like have the colors and the stripes and the markings and the patterns and the imagery that just tells a story, tells your story, tells our story as a humanity. And just to really put yourself and your heart out there to be that vulnerable and exposed kind of thing, but also not at all at the same time, because it's like kind of a at-home feeling that you get. It's just a one-of-a-kind thing, just like any song or dance or tattoo or piercing or anything, any kind of art.
One of the first designs that I did on somebody else as an intentional body painting type of thing was kind of like peeling back the skin, and it showed like a galaxy inside. And it was the first risk that I took. I was like, this is kind of a cool idea. I don't think I can pull this off. But it really did look like, it's like you pulled the skin back and it had a shadow underneath, and it was like held in with some somewhat realistic looking pins. And I was really proud of myself. But it's like very much, I think, what this is. It's like pulling it back to reveal what's
your
on the
inner,
on the outside. And I think that there's that, like, when we do that together, we remember that ancient piece that we were talking about. It's like recalling this ancient knowledge that we lost along the way, and we kind of strike on it at the same time. I think that's what brought us together.
Yeah, for sure.
Abby, is there a particular experience that sticks out in your head?
New York City Body Painting Day. They don't do it anymore, but last year was the last year. The artist moved on to other things. I went 2 years. Honestly, it's insane. So it's literally 100 people or more, like 100 models and like 100 body painters, and they get together on this street corner in New York City, you know, one of the most popular cities in the world, of course. And we're just like, the painters and the models are just like barricaded in, and like all these people are coming through all day long and just taking pictures of the whole thing. And everybody's literally just naked and being painted. And it's the most beautiful thing, because, you know, I didn't even have to be naked to experience the like effects of body painting. Like, I'll never forget the feeling of feeling so much more comfortable in my own skin because of doing that, and just because of being surrounded by that. So I know, like, even us just talking about it right here and right now, that it's helping people become more comfortable in their own skin just because of that experience. Like, just being surrounded by all that, all those people, all the beauty, all the different body shapes and sizes, and everybody coming differently, and just being okay with it, and just being like, this is who I am, this is who I get to be, this is what I look like, these are my shapes. And then you get to build on top of that too, because a lot of body painting is like building on top of of your body. So yeah, New York City Body Painting Day. It's the coolest thing ever, because then after you do all that in the body painting, you take pictures, of course, but then you get on this like double-decker bus, and it's like one of those double-decker buses where, like, you know, the top's out, so it's just all these naked painted people riding around the city going, hi, 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 and like you just see everybody's face and they're like so shocked, and it's just like the funniest thing in the world to me. And then we have a party, and that's New York City Body Painting Day. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Chelsea, we did speak about it a little bit, and I'll let you know that too, Abby. So I'm going to use myself as an example. Like, pretend you're talking to me, like, as someone that you potentially want as your client. And I can give you some background information since, you know, you guys are pretty open and it seems like you try to get into what people go through. So for me specifically, like 4 or 5 years ago, I was actually like 300 pounds. Very big, ate a lot, had a membership on Uber Eats, drinking a lot. And over the years, me personally, like I've taken a lot of steps to try to lose the weight and, you know, get to where I am today, where physically I feel comfortable, but physically, like mentally, when I look in the mirror, I still see that same 300-pound guy. You know, I still see that, for lack of a better term, slop. Now, just like me coming into like learning about body painting, like me now versus like even a couple weeks ago, it's vastly changed. But let's say it's me a few weeks ago before we even started this. I don't know the point of it. It seems kind of like, it either seems kind of sexual or it seems like taunting, you know? How would you talk to a guy like me who has these kind of like feelings, but also has the history of, well, that? Does that make sense?
Okay, well, yeah, actually, Chelsea told me a little bit about that, and the first thing that came to mind was like, oh, we should have Jay be the model. See, and so like, even me saying that, you were like, oh, no way, you know? So like, we all have that like, oh, no way, it couldn't be me. So like, my question is, what, like, why couldn't it be you? You know, like, why wouldn't you want to be painted would probably be one of my first questions, to see like, you know, what is holding you back? Like what makes you think you shouldn't do it or shouldn't have that chance to express yourself? And yeah. So, would you like care to answer?
Yeah, so like I said, as far as my specific scenario, like I was a 300-pound person. And anytime I look in the mirror, I still see that 300-pound person. I don't like to go to beaches, I don't like to go to pools. I don't really take my shirt off outside of the home. So like, what would you say to somebody?
So I think that this is where it really is a sacred space that you're creating with a person. So you commune with the person, you understand their backstory, you understand where their needs are, where they're coming from, and then you start to approach together how to meet those needs. So if it looks like having a photographer available or taking photographs yourself so that at the end you have something to take home, that might be good for something like for if you're pregnant and you're about to have your child and you want to remember that. But maybe for you it's important to be in a space where if you're feeling disconnected from your body, it has nothing to do with what it actually looks like. It more has everything to do with what it feels like to receive attention. That's inherently positive. That's inherently, maybe not even positive, but it's non-attached and non-judgmental. It's about your relationship with your body, and that's the extent of it. And holding that space and receiving that attention and being willing to just be present in that, it's not going to overnight change one's relationship with one's body, but it will bring you a little closer to that place that you're going. Because a lot of things, I have a history of addiction, that for me, getting off drugs was the first part. Then I had to get my head screwed on straight, which was a whole nother thing that I wasn't really aware of and I'm still doing it over a decade later. More and more that you're curious about undoing. So I think that we're just trying to move the needle to a place where one feels a little bit more comfortable in their skin. And if at the end of the day, you come away with the experience of having, oh my goodness, I sat for 4 hours and I let a person stroke me gently. You know what I mean? And I was okay, and I came away okay, and I came away not feeling totally terrible about my body. That's it. That's successful. You know, if you come out with pictures and you feel like, oh my God, I never knew my body could look like that, that's a whole different set of goals. And you know what I mean? And so I think that there's a lot of, that's what's cool about this, is there's a lot of ways to approach it. And then that means that there's a lot of rewards that can be gleaned from it.
Yeah, to go more off of the funny saying that you had, like, I spent 4 hours letting somebody stroke me gently. It's that definitely gives it a sexual context sounding, but it's funny, and it's also a really good segue into, like, I've had clients and experiences like with sexual traumas, and also like scar trauma, like self-harm. And I think this is like one of those practices that, again, like you said, it's not an overnight thing, but like it moves the needle, and it moves the needle in a big way. But like, yeah, to know that you're safe, just being like so gently loved for 4, 6, 10 hours, whatever the body painting session is in that time. That's huge for a lot of people, to be loved in that way. And I think that can go with any sizes. Like you, for an example, like with the like body weight thing, it's like, it's almost like it doesn't actually matter what size you are, you know, like you learn to love the size that you are, you know, so, and like just being it, because it brings you into your body and into the here and now, like we were talking about earlier, just that full attention of like the 4 to 6 whatever hours of just like pure like love and attention into you. Yeah.
And it sounds like just that in itself, a lot of people could use.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people feel like there's a lot of guilt that might say to that too, where it's like, oh, like I can't give myself that much attention. I can't give myself I can't give myself a whole day to be loved. But like, I think that's why our work is so important, is because you should give yourself a whole day to be loved.
To grow this into like because society, they got like, how do you want to push it, and just talk about like if you don't try it and you're interested in it, try it and it works, it's like this. Or like,
I don't have a full answer yet, but I do like want to say, when it comes to like where I want to see this grow, is that, you know, I want it to not be new anymore, kind of thing, where it's like, we talk about it because we know that it's very ancient, but it feels very new to a lot of people. So I kind of want it to be back to that place of like dance and music and all the things, where it doesn't feel new anymore. It feels a part of who we are. That's like, yeah.
That's
right. Yeah.
So along the same lines as it being like a new art form, I would like to see it being considered a unified art form. So right now, some of the work that I do is I work at Eastern State Penitentiary doing special effects makeup for the haunt there. And that involves body painting. I do projects on my own where I have a vision of what I want it to look like, and I do body painting in that way. I sit with people in ceremony to do body painting to celebrate milestones in their life. I do kids' birthday parties where I face paint. I think that all of these things where the body is the canvas, that they all deserve an equal amount of respect. And I think it needs that dimension of art, where it's art in motion, wearable art that's beyond just clothing, that we are celebrating body adornment in a way that we used to do in ancient ways. And that's what I would like to see in the future, is that people don't go, so what do you do? Do you like do face painting for birthdays? Like, yeah, yes, and yes, and like everybody's presumption of what I'm doing, I want to say yes, and all the time it's growing, and all the time the concepts are expanding because we're exploring them in real time. Painting on multiple people, painting so that you see an image from high above when you photograph a whole mess of people laying on one another. You know, like just doing it for nobody to see, just doing it with a partner to deepen your experience with one another. There's so many aspects of this that are possible, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much. It lets me do so much more than I enjoy painting on a canvas as well, but it's something so much more than that. You gonna say something?
No, just when you said I enjoy painting on canvas as well, something that I always think about or talk about is, you know, I love painting on a canvas, but the canvases don't talk back. Like human canvases, we get to have a whole conversation, and we get to I get to know them, and they get to know me, and we get to that's where the story lies, and the conversation and the connection. For me, that's why I love it, especially too. But that's not about the future. Or could it be?
Oh,
Yeah, that's great stuff.
good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm taking it on the road this summer.
Body painting tour.
We're doing some festivals.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing some
Yes.
festivals. I know that you also are doing some
Yeah.
festivals.
Yeah.
But that's always a really cool one because you get to do, it's not like a 4-hour, 10-hour thing. It's like you get to do a whole bunch of things in a short amount of time, and then you get to go see people go enjoy it and go into these other art spaces like a concert or music festival or a dance festival,
It's fun.
and they're living art, creating art in an art.
Yeah.
And it's like a multi-dimensional artistic experience, which I think is awesome. It's a funny prompt on the front end when someone says, I don't know, just make me beautiful. Because if you don't know, if you don't have the conversation, it's kind of a guess, you know? I've never had a situation where that turns into, I don't like it. I've always had it, the person comes back to me later on in the night and goes, I feel so beautiful because of this. That's such a great moment is when, and this happens with kids especially too, it's like this, you enjoy being yourself more because you've been painted on, which is, it doesn't seem like it's real, but I swear it's like a neurochemical reaction. People really enjoy themselves more when they've been decorated. And how cool is that? How simple is that? Instant antidepressant.
Yeah. It is beautiful. There's one thing I want to talk about for body painting that feels important is also the impermanence of it, because it washes away. And I think it's one of my favorite reasons for body painting, honestly, and I tell people this all the time. Because people will always say I never want to take it off, once they get it on, and I'm like, you have to. And it's a beautiful thing that you have to. One, because you can do something new next, but also I think it's a big teacher in the learning and lessons of letting go, and the impermanence of life itself. So yeah, that's one of my favorite parts of body painting is the fact that it will disappear, but it doesn't make it any less special. Yeah.
You don't feel sad if it's you just put all your soul in this painting, and someone they feel good, but they go home and just wash it out.
Almost every time that's exactly what happens for me, because we make portraits and we have the photos and everything. But yeah, pretty much, because it is a very extensive thing to do. So by the end of it, you're pretty tired. You're gonna go home and wash it off, and I'm not sad about it. No, it actually kind of feels good. Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but it's kind of this beautiful satisfaction of we did that, it was amazing, and next.
I find great relief in that, actually.
Yeah, there's beauty in this, yeah.
And it's funny, I feel motivated when I paint on myself, especially I videotape taking it off sometimes because
it's such an important part of the process.
And then I watch it and I'm like, the video is actually not that cool, but I see how good it feels in the moment. I think the fact that it's not going to last forever allows you to pour your soul into it. It's there's kind of a different set of risks to be taken when you're painting things on a canvas, and eyes will gaze upon it in the state. Once you put it down, that's it, and that's the way it's going to be. And whatever. It's like, oh, I have the freedom to do whatever the hell I want, even if I mess up, because who cares? Because it's going to go away in a second. And what ends up coming out more often than mistakes for me in that moment is just sheer genius. That you know what I mean? And
you get that connection.
And there's a respect for it. Like, I understand that the transient nature of this is what allowed me to put myself down into it. So I need to also respect it when it comes off, because that's part of the deal. It's like it's an agreement with the universe.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything that you would want to leave the viewers with?
Some phrase that can be powerful and put people in the position, oh, I need to think about doing this to myself. Or maybe something you just want to share, like, I don't know. Like for me right now, I just say what I feel right now. Right now I feel like I go home and I try to do this with acrylic paint.
Don't use acrylic paint.
Yeah, it's not good for you. It's not good for you. But that's it. If you feel
it's feeling like I want to try it.
Yeah.
If you feel motivated, do it. If you feel motivated, find a non-toxic way. Right?
Yeah.
Find a friend, find a partner, find someone, and engage in this practice together. It doesn't need to be through a body painter. That actually defeats almost the purpose of it. But if you see it available to you and you feel the inkling, like, I wonder if that might be for me. Jay, I kind of feel like you might be, like, there's some part of you that's like, that couldn't be for me. I wonder if it could be. I wonder if it, like, not me. You know, like, that's the thing. Be curious about that. Give it a shot. You know what I mean? It doesn't last forever. Great news. It doesn't last forever.
News. Great news. If you don't like it, nobody has to even know you did it.
Yep. But it's worth exploring, and it's worth trying. And even if it's like you see somebody see one of us doing face painting at a carnival one day, and your kid gets their face painted, and they say, "Dad, get your face painted too." Do it. Yeah. Do it. It's fun. Exactly. It's a why not kind of thing. And you find out why once you've done it.
Yeah. I think that's a good point where it's like we can try to explain it, but until you have the experience, it's one of those kinds of things where until you do it, you don't know. You know, if you do want to try it, like I hold events sometimes where I get everybody together and we body paint ourselves and or each other. It depends on the type of event I'm holding at the time. But yeah, so yeah, if you want to come check out the events that I hold for body painting, you can find me on Instagram, The Abbey Way, ABBY, and my website, theabbeyway.art. Those are the places I'm most active. You can send me some messages and ask me any questions that you'd like. I'd love to hear from you.
And if you want to know where I will be painting this summer, you can follow me on Instagram at Chelsea_does_it, Chelsea Does It, or www.chelseadoesit.com. And yeah.
Yay!
Yay!
Can't wait to hang out and connect.
We want to paint you.
Yeah.